Hi there, welcome to today's card. Today's card is about the choice is yours to make. Choice is a concept that's spoken about a lot in the world of self-improvement and self-development. But today you're going to learn about the complexities of choice, that choice is not a simple thing that we can talk about. There's always something going on behind choice. And when we understand what's going on behind choice, then that starts to give you some information about what is driving your choices in life, and that is more important than the choice itself. When we have a look at this card, it's part of the suit that's got the Fibonacci spiral, and this is all about growth. And really this is probably the most difficult part of spiritual expansion or growth in any way, shape or form, is closing what we call the knowing doing gap. For many of my clients, there is a great amount of intensity in understanding themselves and healing and facing the emotional pain and doing all the things they need to do. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to leave a session or leave an awareness with some kind of action that you're going to do something different to how you've done it before, well then all the awareness is meaningless in itself, because that's like, knowing how to bake a cake and never ever going and actually making the cake. So it is about taking action. It's about doing something in your life. And to change what we do requires a profound amount of consciousness. Because most of the time we're just on autopilot. We're just doing what we've always done. Even though we know something different, we just continue on the same path. So the ability to step back and look, what is it I'm going to do different in response to this? When I have the same thing happen in my life, what do I do differently? What would be something else I could try to do? And that is a really, really important thing, because you know the definition of insanity, doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different response. Now, when we have a look at this card, we can see that there's a beautiful mountain at the back there. Those of you that can't see the card, there's this mountain with a whole lot of pathways to it. And if we imagine standing here at the front and we get to choose which pathway do we want to take. The goal is to get to the top of the mountain or get to the mountain. Whether you want to get to the top or not is your choice. But which path do you want to take? And at this point, we could get into quite a profound amount of analysis about which is the right path to take. There isn't one. There's more about start. When you just start, when you do something, pick a path. You can never pick the wrong path. So many people come to me and they say that what they're wanting to get a message on is, am I on the right path? And unilaterally, I get the same message from the divine, from the guides, is that you can never be on the wrong path, but at least you're on one. It's better than sitting around trying to figure out which path to be on. Is that commitment to action, to taking steps to doing something, is more important than figuring out if it's the right one or the wrong one. Now, when we have a look at the choice and we start to understand this idea of the choice is yours to make, there's a real need to understand, are you making choices that serve you, or are you making choices that are based on the need for approval? So we can have what we call externally referent. Other people think I must do this. Other people want me to feel like this. Whatever it is. And so we're making choices to keep other people happy in our lives, or we're making choices because it truly serves what we want and what we desire. And this in itself is one of the trickiest things, is that when I say to somebody, what is the choice you want to make? They say, oh, well, my husband wants me to do this, or my children need me to do this, or somebody needs me to do that. That's not the question. The question is, knowing all of that, what choice do you want to make? Not ignoring all of that, because it's data. No man is an island. There are people impacted by your choices. But knowing all of that, what is the choice you want to make? And the biggest challenge with choice is accountability. Is any choice you make maybe choices other people don't like? And then can you stand in the discomfort that could bring? Can you stand in the truth that when you choose something that works for you, it may well not serve someone else? The example I could give is, if I choose to resign from a job, my boss may not like that I'm resigning from my job. If they do like it, you've got a different story going on. But, they may not want you to do that. It does not mean it's the wrong choice. Making choices that serve you is not necessarily meaning that other people aren't going to be uncomfortable with the choices you make. And learning to be comfortable with other people's discomfort takes a profound amount of courage, because that is the strategy for authenticity. To live your life according to your rules, to your choices, to your desires, and know that other people may not be as comfortable with that as you are. The other aspect when it comes to choice is knowing what is driving our choice. If we look at behind the choices, there's always an energy, there's a blueprint, there's a frequency that happens there. I think it was Nelson Mandela that said, let your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. And this is really what we're talking about, is when I make a choice driven from fear, it is very seldom going to be the choice that brings me closer to my own divinity. It is going to be the choice that is driven by my ego. Yeah? And so when fear is the overriding factor, when it's the thing that's driving your choices, you will ultimately continue to feel the discomfort and any misery that may continue to perpetuate itself in your life. When your choices are based on your desires and your faith and your hope, it's a connection to your intuition. Well, the challenge with this is that choice may lead you down a disruptive path, which means not everybody will be happy, but it will ultimately bring you a greater sense of freedom, of peace, of joy. So it's really too simplistic to just talk about this as own the choices you make, because the choices in itself are complex. It's far more important for you to sit and get truthful and honest with yourself about what's driving the choices, who's driving the choices in your life, and what would be choices you can make that would be small steps to transforming your life. What would be one new choice you could make today that would possibly lead to a completely different experience of you in your life today. And really, in all the years that I've been doing this work, it's the smallest choices that make the biggest difference. So the exercise that I'd offer you around this is one that may be a little bit provocative, is that many clients come to me and they said they're stuck, they don't know what to do. It's not true. You're just not really courageous enough to do what you know you need to do. So what is the choice you know you need to make? What is the choice that is brimming up in you, that if you had enough courage you would take action, you would do something? Is to go and sit and reflect on that and ask yourself, how do I get brave enough to make that choice? What do I need to heal to make that choice? What is stopping me from making the choice that I know I need to make in my life? If you can do that, you can start to learn a lot about yourself. Sending you lots of love. Namaste.
Get your very own deck of I Am Lightwalker cards straight from Taryn by visiting IamLightwalker.com/cards.